I just got back from getting feed for the horses and got Ellie some treats and food, and she's smelling it all. But I thought I would video some of the flowers that has bloomed. These purple flowers I got years ago when I was horseback riding, and put them in the yard, and through mowing and whatever, it's scattered, and they come up every year. And they were on a trail down by the river years ago when I was horseback riding. I got some azaleas that are blooming. I wanted to do this yesterday before the rain, because the rain normally knocks the blooms off. And there was a downburst in these where it pushed the middle of them down. But we got all kinds of azaleas blooming. And it's definitely springtime. These azaleas here that are about mid-size are the kind that bloom actually twice a year. They bloom in the spring and in the fall. I got these purple flowers like this right here, and they're just all over the yard. That's from the transplant from the horseback ride years ago. These lilies are about to bloom. Got these here, and they are pretty. And that's the kind that my dad used to have at his house. Got some honeysuckle that's growing here by the pond, and it'll bloom later. Got fern, got some shrimp plant, and wind's blowing pretty strong today out of the north. My philodendron that was growing up on the wall here, it got burned a few months ago when we had a hard freeze. There's another azalea. But this begonia here, it loves the water and the nutrients that it's getting out of the pond. Got a lot of fern growing here on each side of the walkway. Got some oats coming up here, and the horses love that. I get that for them. They eat that as much as somebody would love cotton candy. I'll have to do there's some more oats right there. They love this stuff. There's some lilies there that's more pink. Oh yeah, that's beautiful. fig tree that I transplanted. It's been about 2 years probably. These used to be out at my dad's house. And my sister didn't want them because they were near her drain field. So I got them and transplanted them here. There's where Ellie has dug a hole. Got some azaleas planted here. Beautiful color. That bush don't get any bigger than that. And that tree right there is deader than a doornail. It's one that I need to get down before it falls on somebody. I'll have to do some mowing here in a little while. These lilies are about to bloom. Here's some that's already bloomed. Right there. Beautiful lilies. This fig tree, I didn't get many figs off of it last year, but I did the year before. There goes Ellie. She's chasing or trying to chase a car that drove by. Oh my, wild honeysuckle is blooming a little bit already. There's my azalea. This flower, or right here, I call this gardenia because it blooms. This right here blooms into a beautiful white flower that smells like a French perfume. And my mom, it's about probably 20 feet tall there. My mom planted this years ago. And when the wind's blowing after it blooms, you can smell the fragrance through the air when the wind's blowing. And this is the wild honeysuckle. We actually transplanted this from the woods, and it has multiplied on its own. When we first planted it, it was only 2 bushes, and now it's multiple bushes that's come up in the yard. And it smells fantastic. There's some more of it. Beautiful bloom, beautiful fragrance. But these other bushes are still waiting to open. They haven't opened yet. These here by the swing. And these are actually the first 2 clumps that we planted years ago, and all of this other is honeysuckle, wild honeysuckle that's come up on its own. And I got azaleas up there by the stream that runs back to the pond. I got purple flowers here that has migrated from the original place that I planted them up on the hill. They've come down here, I think mowing, and the mowers scattering the seed and birds scattering the seeds and all is what the wind probably has made them grow in different areas. And this fern here is original to the land. It was already here, and it's slowly coming up, and it is in a circle, and it'll be in full foliage here in a few weeks. Got a magnolia tree here that has white blooms on it eventually during the summer. There's some more azaleas. Still waiting for this tree here to fall. We got more azaleas there. Got more azaleas here. I got a lot of yard work to do, raking up leaves and fine straw. All of these lilies are about to bloom. Got them all down the fence here. These lilies here bloom white. Got some outside the fence there. There's some pretty azaleas. Got some orange and tangerine trees. And that's a good sign that they got blooms on them. I had one orange tree though that died. Got these from Esposito's in Tallahassee. This one's doing real good. Got a lot of foliage. But the other two, which I think are tangerine, they're not doing too good. Not doing good. These lilies, I got this idea of the tulip as a planter. I got that idea from my mom because she had one in her yard, so I put one in mine. But we got some pretty lilies there. Beautiful lilies. And this is a plum tree. And around July it gets big plums on it like you would buy in a store. And God blessed me because this other plum tree come up right by it on its own. So I have two for the price of one. And this pear tree here has never ever produced. And I bought it years ago. And this pear tree here produces, but the pears are hard as a rock. And I usually give them to the horses. But that's got blooms on it. And Ellie just got in the water over there. Getting wet. What are you doing getting wet, Ellie? What are you doing getting wet, Ellie girl? Oh my gosh. And in a few weeks, you won't even be able to see the rocks or the water here because that begonia will be covered this area like a blanket. It grows up in the water and out about 2 or 3 feet on each side. It just loves the water. And then right here, I have a second plum tree that's come up on its own, so 3 for the price of 1. Here's my cement pond. This is where the water comes from the pond into the bottom, comes up through a couple of truckloads of rock and gravel, filters back to the stream under the bridge there and back to the pond. Got some white wisteria, not wisteria, what's it called? It's not wisteria. Can't think of the name of it right now. Spirea. It's called white spirea. And my mom planted that years ago too, this white spirea. Planted it on each side of the driveway. This is some more of it here. I had to cut scrub oaks that come up in it. Had to cut them out of it. I'm trying to get some wild honeysuckle to grow up on this to give me some shade. And it's taking a long time to get it to cover this, but it is growing. And once it branches off, I think it'll do all right. Once it branches off, it'll cover it, I think. This is an ongoing experiment to see if it will. But it's trying. It's trying to. Got a lot of runners on it that can cover it. It'll cover it eventually, maybe. I used to have palm branches up here on it. There were all kinds of lizards living in it. But I had to keep replacing it because it only lasted a little while. And here's some more azalea, and this actually come from the church courtyard years ago. It was only about probably 2 or 3 feet tall when I transplanted it. And this one up here actually came from a cutting off of that one from the church courtyard. And it's doing good, and actually this is a new shoot right here that's grown up. But all these blooms here on the ground is from the wind and the rain knocking them off. There's my beautiful home that Jesus blessed me with. Finally dried it in and moved in it in 1985. December of 1985. Got first city water right before Christmas of 2023. I was on good pump water for all them years, and then it finally got too much sand in it. I had to go to city water. There's a shrimp plant. Variegated philodendron there. Some more shrimp plant. I had to tie it to that post because it was so tall it was falling over. And I have to constantly trim this out of the doorway here because it's growing more on this side than it is on the other side. And I don't know why. And then there's some more azalea, all growing there. And some more shrimp plant. And in the midst of this, there's some 4 o'clocks that bloom during the summer. And that's the tour of the flowers that's bloomed right now, and I'm going inside and getting me something to eat.